spiritual parasites, or those who wish to cause us harm, or those that are also called the archons, other forms of opposition in our lives, their ultimate goal is to distract us from our life's purpose, from our life's destiny. They may not be aware of what they're doing as they do it, but they are doing it for a reason. How have I learned about these things? Through life experience, even very recently. And despite the amount of knowledge that I've accrued, I'm humbled and reminded of how much I don't know. How much I'm overestimating or underestimating someone's moral compass. I could give someone the benefit of the doubt, and then I could be shocked to my core when I see someone turn on me. By the same token, I can be concerned about a certain someone only to see them come out and help me later on. There's so many God shots. When you put yourself out there, however, in this biological prison, in this matrix, it takes years of discipline. It takes years of mastery and self-mastery to ride out the storm of the energy backlash. Okay. If our consciousness could be read, scanned, covertly surveilled upon by these spiritual parasites, then our buttons are exposed. The things that distract us, the things that terrify us, the things that traumatize us, they have a mapping of our minds. On a collective level as well as individual, if there are individuals that they are specifically targeting, if there are individuals that the Archons feel threatened by, people that are unplugging thousands of people, if that person has a vulnerability, that person that's exposing the Archons will use whatever is at their disposal the person being targeted may have some vulnerabilities that the Archons are seeking to exploit. Now, what's going on here with this assault on good humans that are incarnated into this realm? This is a very complex subject. And how deep it goes, it can be terrifying. But that's not where I want to be. That's not where I want you to be. But it appears to be a fact of this reality and dimension. This dimension of reality. That those souls that are here now, that are actually playing a part in the wake-up process, they are on a planet where the beast seeks to punish those through his archonic web, through his dark grid, those that oppose him, those that have invested themselves and their lifetimes to helping people free themselves from this soul prison. We are in a soul prison. I am dedicating my life to helping as many of you escape this soul prison. There are things I am not sharing with you now. But I now see how during a very critical moment in my life in the last year, how someone threw a monkey wrench into the whole thing, and it's left me a little bit shook. There are only so many friends that I can confide in. I have been, although I haven't always really learned my lesson. We're supposed to learn our lessons. Sometimes I think I learn the lessons and I forget, and I make the same mistakes again. But those that come against us with a sword of violence, either literal or metaphoric, they will use any information they can against us. And for those of us that don't think like people like that, we have a little bit of innocence. Not only when we come into this world, but when we interact with other people. And we assume other people will see the light within us, and they will not try to stab us with their sword. They will not try to trespass against us or harm us. We may feel shocked. We may go, well, how can God be just then? Look at all of these horrible things happening to good people. But why are we here to begin with? Why are we here to begin with? On this planet, in these bodies, in these circumstances. What is the meaning of it all? Why are we going through this? And how can we use the challenges that we face to make us stronger? I look at what sits before me now. That which is unspoken, that only a few friends, maybe 3, know about. And they have been informed of this dilemma. They have been educated about this. They are concerned for me as well. And all I can say to my audience is that I need your prayers now. I need your prayers now. I have made it my goal to push forward like never before. I will not resort to clickbait in the darkest of nights. Instead, I will speak my truest of truth to the best of my ability each and every day that I draw breath. Because this is not a game to me. This is not a show to me. This is a soul prison that I'm trapped in. And I see those with intent to harm me because of the good that I've done, to bear false witness against me, to cause harm, to stop me from what I'm doing. I pray to the creator of this universe and that which lies beyond for the gift that has been presented to me. And when my engine stalled up because I didn't properly maintain it and I found myself grounded here back on the land without an ability to leave or go anywhere, without any close friends in the area to get supplies. Really looking forward to my friend from Texas coming next week. And with her help, I'll be able to take care of some things. But I've been regrounded to the place that I prayed to be at. With all my heart and soul, there was nothing else that I wanted but this. No woman, no job, no fame, no fortune. I wanted a place of rest. And it was delivered to me. And I find myself in a situation to where it is eerie, but it is like a lifetime from the past, if you will, our perception of time, the past. Although I guess we can't discount the future, if that's the case, if time's an illusion. But a lifetime from another time and space seems to be relived here in my current incarnation. The depart from the grid is the word that we use today. In the past, it would just simply be society. As I look at Ansary, the ancestor, and his depart from mainstream society in Afghanistan in the 11th century, and how the Islamic stronghold of Kabul wanted his head because his conversations with God, his understanding of the universe, and it's really Gnostic when you look at the literature itself, the Sufi writings of Abdullah Ansary. And so he lived He lived on his land. And he continued writing until his last days, until old age, removed his spirit from the body. Those were difficult days and times. But it was a renaissance of philosophy in that area in and around Herat, Afghanistan. And then, of course, we saw the Dark Ages. As I said before, even though in the darkest of night, the light can still shine so bright, and as it does today, as we seem to be descending into a new Dark Ages, where the bottom out point is uncertain. All we know is that there are people worshiping people in office now that should know better. And we live in a day and age now to where the technology exists for them to assassinate individuals, and you can even say a legal structure where they can set people up. And there's, it's like that Denis Leary song, so many different ways you can die. But Denis Leary really, like other comics and celebrities and singers, they seem to have a dark side. There's a light side to everything. Look at all the times we could have been taken out and we weren't. And maybe we didn't know why we were spared. Why were our lives spared? Why was my life spared several times? And why have there been few life-threatening situations of a certain kind? Why have certain types of threats? I'm not here to boast. I'm here to muse upon my lifetime. Why have certain threats been kept from me, no matter what I reported on, no matter what I exposed, no matter what I investigated? However, there's always that sense of the eye of Sauron upon me, upon my spirit, as if I myself have activated the ring of power. Feeling Sauron's eyes upon me. I see you. Living in a world where Sauron's forces, using Sauron from Lord of the Rings as a metaphor for the Archons, or the spiritual parasites, or the demons of this world. The sociopaths, the narcissists, the psychopaths, the people in control. And we're not just talking about the elite of this world. We're talking about the elite and the authorities of the communities, of the cities, and people that are drawn to have power, people that are in positions of locking people up in cages. Some of them have souls that are already compromised. Again, people panic. And sometimes I feel the fear as well. I know that there is a creator, but the creator works in mysterious ways. There is a specific reason. There is a reasoning behind it on a larger scale that we don't understand. Why good people suffer. Why saints and others have been either incarcerated, murdered, persecuted in some way, shape, or form. That includes physical torture. That includes rape. But yet the body is temporary and the spirit is eternal. What are we as saints in the flesh, if we're walking on a certain path, to learn from the persecution of the flesh? What type of perspective is there on these situations other than playing a victim? This is where I'm going to take your consciousness. Because if we see ourselves as victims, where does our spirit go from here? How does the spirit strive to stay alive and not fall prey to sickness, to where the body chooses to self-destruct? and removes itself from this domain and realm before its time has arrived. That is the goal of the dark side, to engineer a mass self-destruction of humanity. And people like myself have to move forward with our soul's destiny, no matter how lonely it is. And no matter who trespasses against us and bears false witness in an attempt to throw us off our path. They shall not pass. Those that come with the sword against the assets of the Creator will find themselves metaphorically and or literally falling on their own sword. Karma is karma. Whatever you do to anyone, period, comes back to you tenfold. Some people haven't learned this yet. And some people haven't had their karma handed to them yet because they're still a tool of the Archons. And so they don't even realize they've leased out their own soul. And they won't until it's too late. They think in terms of lifetimes, but a lifetime goes like this. And then the lifetime is over. Then it's time to look at everything that's there. Everything. Leave no stone unturned. And that includes the good deeds. The compassion. The risk that we've taken when we lay our lives down for others and we put ourselves out there for the greater good. I'm facing several challenges, some you know of, some you do not. You're noticing a shift in the tempo. You're noticing a shift in my matrix. It isn't by accident. I believe we only have a few years left of this way of life. Where things go from here, things are up for reevaluation. Things will be changing. My chips on the table in this casino matrix, I'm all in, let it ride. There's no other life for me. There's no other place I need to be this morning other than my soul speaking to you. My concluding thoughts, I would appreciate your support. There are several people supporting at $5 to $10 a month at Patreon. There are a few, I believe, 6 subscribers to the on-demand channel at outsidethebox.vhx.tv for the price of several cups of coffee, depending on where you go, of course, for the price of a Happy Meal, for the price of several bus tickets. Enough of you working together, supporting me on an individual level, could dramatically help me reach more other souls on the planet. I am doing this full time. I am doing this off grid. The hours that I'm able to use the technology, however, internet, computers, it's grossly limited. I've had some issues with mechanical things like generators. I've had some things break. I don't have any friends in the area. The engine stopped working on the vehicle. I believe everything happens for a reason, and obviously I take this as a sign that it's time to work harder than ever, helping unlock minds from this matrix, helping souls evolve, and exposing the workings of this matrix, exposing the Archons themselves. Despite the energy backlash, despite those bearing false witness against myself, despite the sabotage that I now see, and it frightens me because I wonder, what are they going to do to me in 5 years? Will they put me in a camp? The fears are out there, folks. Will they just straight up trespass and kill me? Will they blow me up? Will I be the victim of a domestic terror attack? I'm all in, folks. If that's the consequence for helping wake up souls, so be it. There's nothing else for me here on this planet. As far as I'm concerned, I've been thrust down back into this world and I have to earn my way out. I don't know why I believe this. I just know I do. And I know that I haven't put down everything that I know into actual writing. Video is one thing, folks. Audio is one thing. There's a lot of things that actually need to be transcribed from things I've already put out there in the audio format. It's going to be in a book one day. My life story and how I got here and how I ended up on this journey will be in writing. For now, I speak. For now, I share my soul with you. Unafraid, uninhibited, unembarrassed. But ladies and gentlemen, I need your prayers for those of you that are on the spiritual path. I realize there are many of you that are not. There's a reason why the comment section will remain and should remain down for the indefinite future of this channel. I don't even know how much longer YouTube has. And it's certainly not going to be spent going back and forth with detractors and distractors and people that don't support my advance forward and what I'm really doing. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not going to play Russell Crowe in The Gladiator saying, "Are you entertained? Do you like this?" This isn't about whether you thumb this up or down any longer. My matrix and your interaction with it has officially changed. Nothing's going to stop me from going back and discussing my warnings for the West Coast of the United States in the future because of what I see coming. I want to see people weather the storm. I want to see us survive. If there is a chance for greater enlightenment or understanding, true consciousness, then let that light shine upon the world. And let there be no World War III. However, in a way, as I've said to close friends that have tried to argue with me and tried to tell me, "Hey, Alex, the future is not determined." That may be so, but what if prior actions that have already taken place have put the wheels in motion or determined that we are going to end up at a certain direction by 2025 unless there is a major change in direction? Major change in foreign policy. Major change with regards to the wars in the Middle East. Major change with regards to China-Russia war games over here and U.S.-NATO war games at Russia's border and elsewhere over here. That needs to change. Has it changed? It's only escalated to the point where I'm absolutely convinced we only have a few years left of life being like this until World War III begins. And then we start to see massive internal problems here in the United States. Will we see an underground railroad? Will people be hunted within the country of their birth? As far as I'm concerned, I have work to do. I have films to make. I have a book to write. I have a YouTube channel to manage. I currently am also giving 4 to 5 hours each day to my associate's website for pay, because that is required. That is required for me to be self-sufficient on the land economically, as I try to become more self-sufficient in other ways and pay off the land. But that is the first step. And to do that, there has to be some work applied. And I'm really grateful to be able to earn somewhat of an income while being stuck. It's like, yeah, the vehicle isn't working. Yeah, we're looking at maybe $1,200 in the hole or more. But there's nothing that I can do about that right now. What I do have control over, like the serenity prayer, God, give me the wisdom to understand the things that I can change and the wisdom to know the difference. Between the things you can change, the things that you can't change. Wisdom to know the difference, paraphrasing. And that's actually a spinoff of another serenity prayer. Well, this is what I have the power over. And you have the power on a small level as an individual to support what I am doing. I am probably going to be independent for the rest of my life, as long as as long as this matrix, if you will, for lack of a better word, permits such free speech. Until we are assimilated, until all this is outlawed, I have to give it all I've got. And in the end, there's no calls for violent revolution here. There's no calls for racist leanings here against any group whatsoever. Quite the opposite. Yet that does not come without its fear. Seeing the challenges that I've already faced. Sure, I have faith in the Creator and my life has been spared many times. But in the end, I realize the possibility will always be there that my older years could be filled with physical torture. And I want my audience to understand that I'm facing these risks in a way, due to my heritage and other factors, more than many of you. I need your prayers. I'm isolated. I'm all alone physically. You and I are only connecting digitally. And I have also received so much toxic energetic backlash as a result of videos that I'm doing, which is why I need to focus on doing more videos than ever and shutting down this just open dialogue with the audience to attack me and slash into my spirit and treat me like I'm just some sort of another jerk off on YouTube who's doing this to entertain people. Sorry, I'm not going to ask you if you're being entertained. This isn't about whether you like this or not. The few of you that have found yourself to this channel a few years ago or in the recent years that fill my spirit, I'm asking you for your spiritual support and your prayers for things you don't currently understand, because I cannot disclose to you on a YouTube channel every personal detail about my life, because there are other unfriendly forces that are now on this channel. Do you understand the value of my reporting and how it's now resulted in this type of a backlash? Something's trying to stop me. And it is archonic. And I do need your prayers. I'm not going to let them stop me from achieving my soul's destiny. And not only am I going to break out of this matrix, I'm going to take a lot of souls with me and leave some amazing documentaries and a book that may not be really understood by the generation of today. Guaranteed it will by the generation of tomorrow. Please visit alexansary.tv/donate. I'm Alex Ansary, sign off for March 29th, 2017.